Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. Emergency, man. We got to talk about it. Had to bring it to the Laker locker room, man. And I got to get Rod
Yes,
on here
sir.
too at some point. But man, look, Anthony Davis, man, he's no longer a Laker. He's a Dallas Maverick, and Luka Dončić is a LA Laker. So Luka in LA, man, what's going on, man? I didn't even see this one coming, bro. Did you?
No, I don't think a lot of us saw this one coming, man. I I actually like it. I think this is kind of signaling a couple of things. First, and the biggest thing is it's got to be signaling the end of the LeBron era in LA.
Okay.
Um, well, I mean, let's before we get to that. I mean, it's obvious, that Anthony Davis. I don't know if he had like a no clause, no trade clause in his contract, but he definitely probably had a okay in signing off on this. Um, and so now he's moving to Dallas, um, moving to play with Kyrie Irving, and essentially, it'll be the clear cut. He'll be the clear cut number one option on that team. So, for him, it's a great move. I think that he's deserved it. I wish it had been a focus in LA. As good as LeBron, as he is, as much stuff as we like to talk about LeBron, he's a once in a lifetime guy, and but Father Time is undefeated, and to be able to transition and be able to be that backup guy and still be productive and still be a force. I think that, or at least I thought that's what LeBron would have been pushing for with playing with Davis. He's one of the best defensive big men in the game. He's a double double guy, um, and just to be able to play alongside him should have been one of those things that would have appealed to LeBron and extend. Even though he's already had a long career, take some of those miles off of him, man, and save him up to when he really needs to be effective towards the playoffs, because we've seen in the last few years he has run out of gas. And I think that's one side of it. What do you think about that, at least for the Anthony Davis side?
But for the Anthony Davis side of the trade, and I just want to do a mic check. You can hear me, right? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
All right. So
Yes, I can.
The Anthony Davis side of the trade, for his perspective of it, or from my perspective of him being traded to Dallas, I like that for Anthony Davis because it's going to be a better fit for him. And check it out, he's in a great spot because he gets to be himself now. And what I mean by that is he don't have to play second fiddle when he's definitely the best player on the team. And for some reason, I get the feeling that he probably didn't like that. Maybe in the beginning he was okay with it, but I think it wore on him after a while. And it's not going to be something that he's going to put out there because I don't think that's his personality. But whenever you play with a mega star, which LeBron is, you're going to be second fiddle even if you're the better player. You know what I'm saying? I can only imagine if AD was playing with Kobe Bryant and Kobe, in Kobe's last year or last 2 years of his career, Kobe still would have been the mega star. You know what I'm saying? And the attention guy. Now, in Dallas, he gets to play out that post. He gets to play outside, perimeter, and he's going to be flanked by 7-footers that can run the floor and jump. So now he gets to get what he's been begging for, which is he can be the 4. Even though I still don't understand that with a positionless basketball, he's claiming he got to play a position. But I'll leave that for another day. but he gets that. He also gets a guy in Kyrie Irving who just proved last season that he can light up. He can still light the league up. So he's got a 1-2 punch guy. The hierarchy is definitely clear. He brings defense to Dallas, which is what Dallas needed. He also brings interior offense, which Dallas definitely needed. So he's actually coming there, and his skill set is going to fit right in what they need. And then no one's talking about Klay Thompson. I'm curious to see how this affects Klay in a positive way, because Klay really hasn't been like lighting it up. But I wonder now what's going to happen when AD creates these double teams out of the post, and then you swing it to Klay. I wonder what I'm gonna take a look at Klay and see how his production goes with this. I think Kyrie is good. You know what I'm saying? He gonna find a way to do what he got to do. But Klay's at that side of his career where he's basically a spot-up shooter. So I want to see how effective he's gonna be now with a big man kicking it out to him versus Luka Dončić driving and kicking, because he got that drive and kick style like LeBron and like James Harden, Russell Westbrook. Those guys drive down the lane and kick. This is going to be a little different. We're going to penetrate the defense by dropping it into the big man. So I think it's a good deal for Dallas, man. I think that was a smart move by them.
And you know what? You made a good point.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I completely forgot about Klay, man. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. to your point, like, this should help him out a lot, man. Now you have and like you said, you mentioned that before we got on the stream, man. But they claim basketball is positionless, but it's not, man. I mean, you have to be effective where you are effective at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, but 7-footers have no business being on the perimeter if there's not another 7-footer down there to help rebound. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're giving the ball away. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're giving the ball away if you don't have anybody down there that can rebound. And so,
right.
And like you said, I think like you were saying, I believe that we're kind of seeing, like, how could I have forgotten about Klay Thompson? You know what I'm saying? And I think it's because he's not as effective playing with Luka and Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, he's more of a spot up shooter kind of situation. But if the the optics of the game are going to be different, because now you can sit him on the other side of the floor of Kyrie and Anthony Davis. And then when you throw that ball down and Anthony Davis makes that move, man, somebody's going to have to go help. And Klay moves around, and now he's going to have some wide open jump shots, as opposed to, like you say, on a Luka, a drive and kick isn't always just going to get you a wide open look as well as a big man throwing it out of the post to you. And so, like you said, for that part of it, I think it's great for AD. I think like you say, I think Dallas played it smart. And like you say, this was under the radar. Nobody saw this thing coming. Nobody saw this coming. And it's interesting to see that Dallas only pulled this trigger with one team. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was just this is a 2-team. Well, it was a third team in it, and I think it was a third team. I'm not exactly. They said 3-team deal. Before I get that wrong, I guess I have to look that up. But the biggest thing was that the biggest 2 players in this thing were the Lakers and Dallas, and that it kind of like I say, it kind of went unheard of, and like I say, ultimately for Anthony Davis, and I get what you were saying about him. That's one thing. We can say playing with LeBron and you're the man, but you're always going to play in that shadow. Playing with LeBron James, you're always going to be in his shadow. And, I think that's just one of those things where, they presented it to AD, and he was like, yeah, make it happen. And And so I feel that's great for him. And then on the other side of it, it's AD for Luka. I'm sorry. I think Luka. Um, let's see, Dallas Maverick. Okay, this is the Dallas Mavericks sent Luka Dončić, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris to the Lakers for Anthony Davis and Max Christie, a 2029 first round pick, and the Utah Jazz acquired Jalen Hood, Sharafino from the Lakers, and 2 second-round picks. So,
so Utah helped. So Utah helped facilitate this deal a little bit.
Yeah, I guess by taking getting some room by getting rid of Sharafino, maybe that was, and then maybe like we don't know, maybe it's one of those pick swaps or something that comes in later on. But the thing too, I think for Luka, if you're looking at Luka, apparently, this is a situation where it had to be something that's not being talked about. It's something that's not just being out there, where there was some unhappiness either on his side, the management side, or a combination of both. And it's usually a combination of both where you're getting something like this, where it's a trade situation like this, especially for a franchise player, a young proven franchise player. I mean, he's 25, man. He's made 5 first all NBA teams. So,
right.
It's not like you're getting a project or somebody that's, he's still got 10 years easy, you know what I'm saying, at being at the top of the game, especially the way the NBA is set up now, where it's not really, it's not physical. You can't hardly touch anybody. And so he's got
3-point, it's perimeter oriented, just basically threes. Yeah, he's set, man. But let me say this. Oh, go ahead, finish it. Pass it back. Go ahead.
Oh, just and then just the fact that he gets to be in LA. LA is a primetime spot. Like this is one of those it's the biggest or the second biggest market out there. And so or the biggest market out there, between there and New York. But it's just one of those places that you guys, as we're talking in the Laker locker room, like this is where you used to want to be, man. Like being in LA was the spot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to be there. You know what I'm saying? When we went and got guys, when we went and got Kareem, when we went and got Shaq, traded for Kobe, when we went and got guys, like they wanted to be in LA. And go ahead. Like I said, I just think that that'll bring some of that same star power, some of that luster back to get a guy like Luka. Maybe he can love this LA scene. And like I said, he's still a younger guy, so maybe this is something that'll play into him and how he wants to market himself going forward.
I mean, Serbia, he's an international guy. And he's been low to me the season ends. He go back overseas. So with his guys over there.
You're breaking up just a little bit. Jones. Hello. Hello. Well, I guess we're still live a little bit, y'all. So I guess Mr. 411 to hit a little bad spot. It sounded like he was moving. And I think what he was about to mention about Luka was the fact that some of the times we see these international guys, especially. Okay, there you go. I'll let you get your thought out. But I was just telling people, like you were mentioning about him being from Serbia, and just finish that thought out.
Okay, so with him being from Serbia, the international guys, with for example with the Joker, right? After he won the championship, man, he was ready to go. He wasn't ready to do no celebrating, no parade. He ready to go home and just hang out, right? Their mentality is a little bit different, but I get what you're saying about LA itself having that star player with that flair to carry the torch. And I think for the Lakers, getting Luka, it feels that part of it. But I just feel like, okay, with him coming to LA, how is this going to work with him and LeBron on the same floor, playing the same amount of minutes, doing the same thing? Now you lose the one guy that was definitely your defensive stopper in AD. He altered shots, not even count the ones he blocked, but the ones that he altered. We didn't have another player like that on that roster. So you give that up. You might have swapped out the points with Luka, but you damn sure gave up the defense because LeBron don't play a lick of defense, and Luka doesn't either. So if your two best players who gonna be on the floor don't play defense, now we're looking at three other players and out of those other three, they're not lockdown defenders either. They're not gonna be on any All NBA defensive teams. So what happens now? This makes me feel like this is not over.
Exactly.
Which we can dive into in a minute. I feel like there's something else that's about to happen because we were already baffled that this trade went down the way it did now, and it feels incomplete on the LA side. Now on the Dallas side, what we were talking about earlier, I feel like they good. I feel like they got the piece to the puzzle that they needed. They gave up the Luka points, but they got the points right back on offense with AD plus the defense. So what do you think about that? The Lakers side of things, it was incomplete. Like somebody's coming here or somebody's going.
Okay, yeah, definitely. And I just I was gonna say, man, I know you're making some moves out there. You're making the moves out there, Mr. 411, trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? You trying to get to it. I know you're making the moves. It's just giving you a little feedback and a little breakup on this. So but yeah, definitely what you just said about what I'm thinking isn't through. It's basically you have two guys at the same position that are ball dominant that are going to do the same thing, and it was no secret. It was nothing that was hidden about the fact that early in this season, LeBron James wanted to do everything he could to get Steph Curry over to the Lakers, and that was I think we mentioned it before. Like that was he said that was one of the things that he had always dreamed about. He got to do it in the Olympics, but
who he don't want to play with.
Yeah, I mean, you're the greatest player of all time. They say he's the greatest of all time, but he wants to play with people. Like, come on, man. Okay, but usually that should be the other way around, right? It should be guys clamoring to play with LeBron, and instead of the other way around. But like I say, that may be another episode or something we tackle a little bit later on. But definitely, we're looking at it. And I will, I'd like to give the credit where it's due. And it was something once you, like I say, you look at it and you see what could possibly happen. I think the move for LeBron would be to get out of LA and to go to Golden State.
And take Bronny.
Take Bronny with you. Hey, it's still on the. Hey man, it's just a short ride up the coast. Same same area basically. Bronny would still be he could get traded and be an affiliate with the with Golden State's G League team. I think you can definitely get some players from Golden State. I think Golden State now, they're at that point where they're almost, they're just about done. They're just about done with it. Maybe there's a little bit, maybe there's one last push, possibly there. And like I say, the one thing that LeBron could, even if LeBron won another championship, he could, Curry wouldn't up, Curry wouldn't up him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they're
They'll
already
both
they're
watch
already
each
at,
other.
they're already at 4 apiece. So like Curry couldn't up him. If they won together, if they lost together, you know what I'm saying? Like he wouldn't be able to up him. So I think that, if that's being diabolical, but whatever. But I think you can kind of tell Golden State is, like I said, they're right there, man. They're gonna have to rebuild that team.
Mm-hmm.
And what they can do, what they could possibly do is you know, again, maybe another same kind of a situation where you get like some kind of a 3-way deal in there. You get rid of LeBron, and and maybe for the Lakers, since this is the Laker locker room, we can get us some draft picks and maybe some positions that we need, some position players that we need, because like you say, man, we are going to be we had nothing. We had nothing other than
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, protecting that middle, and now he's gone, man. So we are, good Lord.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna turn into the early Dallas Mavericks if the way it's looking at this point. If you don't get no picks in there or get some other kind of talent in there, it'd be just Luka running around padding stats for a little while.
yeah,
That's what.
yeah, and I think that's maybe that was I guess that had to be, again. I think Luka may have had one of those like no trade clauses or whatever. And we were talking a couple earlier today. We were just kind of shooting it around on one of the shows, man, and everybody was like I said, mentioning some of the things, how the Europeans don't necessarily value some of the monetary things as much. They're more home oriented, wanting to be with their family and party with those kind of guys. And the fact that let's face it, neither one of those, neither Luka or Jokic, is going to be on anybody's sexy body cover magazine. The Playboy or Playgirl calendars or whatever. Neither one of those guys are physically appealing. They're great ball players, but like they're not cut up. They're not. It's not like LeBron walks around with his shirt off all the time. When guys like that, like guys that are built and buff and they're not like that.
And they're not fashion plates either. They're not trying to do all the fashion walks.
Mm-hmm.
They're not trying to. They just there to play ball. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And so yeah, they're not that kind of marketable player. You just have to market their skill set. But that's a lot of the international players. You know what I'm saying? Like even with the Greek freak. You know what I'm saying? The Nigerian Greek freak. He's not really on no fashion now. Physically, he could be one, but as far as his fashion and all that stuff, he's not in all that stuff. He's just playing ball. You know what I'm saying? Now maybe and now that I said that, do you think it's crazy? But I've been noticing the Bucks have kind of really flattened out, and I think at some point they got to make a decision. Like they tried the Damian Lillard thing, but maybe the Bucks flatten out, and maybe somehow you get Giannis out to LA at some point, and maybe it's a Giannis Luka combination in LA.
Boy, I get that. That would be that. I think that would be that leprechaun riding on the back of a unicorn over top of a rainbow. Like if it happened, it would be lovely.
So you're saying there's a chance. There's a chance.
There's a chance. There's a chance.
Well, I'm just asking because it just feels like this is so incomplete, man. Like, it boggles my mind to think that you can run a 40-year-old LeBron and Luka, who both do the same thing on the floor. They both play no defense, and you're gonna have them both in your starting lineup. AD been covering a lot of stuff up for us over the last couple of seasons, and I just don't. And you know how Luka drive and kick, LeBron drives and kick, but they don't spot up. Neither one of them. So it's like I don't see how this is gonna work. Now JJ, he gonna sit back. JJ Redick, he gonna probably sit back and think he gonna devise some kind of offensive scheme up because he thinks he knows everything. But I don't see it playing out on the court. I
It's,
just don't.
it's not, man. I mean, you got two guys that are ball dominant that don't, like you say, they don't. Luka's he's a good shooter, but he's not a great shooter. And again, he's the one that you really want to focus your offense around. So what are you gonna do now? You're just gonna make LeBron James a spot up shooter? Is he gonna be okay? Okay, my bad about that, man. This thing is so damn. I hit the button and then I kicked myself all the way out of the dang out of the cast. But
Okay, you can
uh
carry on.
yeah, and oh gosh, what was I saying about Luka and you know, my bad. I lost my train. What was I saying? Do you remember what I was saying? Because I lost my
You
train
was
of thought.
talking about the drive and kick. Neither LeBron's not a spot up
Yeah,
shooter, and Luka's not either.
yeah, and so neither one of those guys are gonna be. They're not gonna be effective enough for for those guys to be on the offense on the floor at the same time. So you're gonna have to get rid of one of them. You traded for Luka, so he's not going anywhere. Um, and LeBron, like I say, LeBron was. I honestly I thought this was gonna be his. I thought this was gonna be his farewell tour year. I really thought he was gonna come out and say, "Hey, I'm done with it," and take it, take it that way. Uh, but apparently not. So, and again, I think for Anthony Davis, when you're looking at that and you're kind of sitting back and you're waiting on that kind of a situation to go ahead and root itself and show itself, and it does, and it's like, so it's another year that I got to sit back and kind of be in this guy's shadow because again, we talked about it. He's even though he's there, he's still always going to be in LeBron's shadow, and as much as we sit here and see or don't see, anybody when you're playing with LeBron, you're always going to be second fiddle. You're always going to be the number two guy, and so I think Luka's not going to be the number two guy. You know what I'm saying? You don't want him to feel like he needs to be. You don't want him to come in there and feel like he needs to be under LeBron's shadow, playing
You want
behind
Luka to be
anybody.
comfortable.
Yes. And I think what you do, that's why I say I think that's why you go ahead and however you can move LeBron, I think you move, what I'm saying, you go ahead and move him. And like I say, the biggest thing and like I said, the biggest thing that he's always pointed out was that he wanted to play with Clay. So I mean not Clay, but Steph. So, that's one thing. Go ahead and make that move, make it happen. And like I said, get either get us a solid big, which those guys, what I'm saying, we got rid of one of the better ones in the league. So that's gonna be hard to replace him. But you either got to get somebody solid on that inside because we don't have anything there, or we're gonna get some, we got to get some draft picks, man, and maybe, try to be able to move something because Austin Reeves and Luka Dončić aren't gonna be the I mean like that's out there backcourt, dude.
Yeah. What you got, Nard?
First of all, what's up, y'all?
What's going on, bro?
What's up? How y'all doing?
All right.
Doing good, man.
Good.
I
So,
see you.
you go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Give your thoughts on this trade, man.
Oh,
He
And
got that.
thank you.
He got his Laker gear on, but he got that jacket with the Laker out there on the front, ain't it?
No, it's an NBA hoodie with all the teams on it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
yeah, I see it. Okay. All the teams LeBron played on. Okay.
So, my thoughts on this trade is, first of all, I was still up when I heard about this trade at midnight. Unexpected trade. Luka to the Lakers for Anthony Davis to the Mavericks. Who wins the trade? it's a win-win trade for both of these teams. Luka on the Lakers will be nice with LeBron James. Good duo. I feel like since Luka is now on the Lakers, they're going to run their offense through him. And this is Kyrie Irving's team on the Dallas Mavericks. AD is going to be a good big for Kyrie and Klay Thompson, but do I think they make it far in the playoffs? The Mavericks? No, but the Lakers can make it far in the playoffs. They just a center away.
Well, they traded that center though.
Yep. But now they got to go trade for another one. I don't understand why did you trade AD, but it's business. So
Yeah,
overall, though,
Yeah, and I get, I'm just gonna say I think differently in the aspect of for the Dallas Mavericks. I think they like you say, it's a win-win situation for both teams. But I actually think the Mavericks got something that they wanted, something that they were missing. And like I say, Anthony Davis, now you're going to have a happy Anthony Davis moving to a position that he wants to play at. You got some guys that are, you got some other bigs. You got Lively down there who is, he's just he's just an energy guy who's going to go out and, play. Like I said, Kyrie will be able to do his thing. And I was talking to Mr. 411 earlier. Man, I forgot Klay Thompson was even on this team. And so now I think that's going to open up the floor for him, and it's going to spread the floor. And I think Dallas is going to, if I'm picking somebody right now to say who's going to do better early on with this draft, with this trade, I really think it's Dallas, because now you've got a true 1, 2, 4. 3, 4, and 5, because even PJ Washington, you know what I'm saying? I think, you've got some guys now, man, that's going to be a formidable team. And you got some, like I say, you got a happy Anthony Davis, who is still a defensive presence. And now you add him with Likely over there, who is, like I say, he's just an energy guy. He guards the rim. Man, Dallas is going to be a dangerous team going forward. And they did it in enough time, man, with, this is going to give them enough time to, if they have any kinks or anything that needs to be worked out, they'll be able to do it before the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I like it. With AD on the Mavericks, that starting lineup is going to be insane. Kyrie, PJ Washington, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, and Daniel Gafford. You got two big men in the starting lineup. Gafford, a guy that can produce with rebounding.
I forgot about Gafford.
Yeah, Gafford, phenomenal player that can rebound, box out. He's a phenomenal center. AD at the 4 will be nice because he can shoot the ball. He's a phenomenal player too, but if AD can stay healthy, I feel like the Mavericks can make some noise.
They most definitely, yeah, like you say, and like you say, I forgot about Gafford. And so, man, look at that, man. Now look at all that size that you have on the inside. You know what I'm saying? You're able to move some of these guys around and, just have something everybody doesn't have, is a lot of size. And then when you start going up against, you're going to hit the Denver Nuggets with Jokic, man. It's gonna create problems from him, because now they're going to be able to throw at least 2 or 3 guys at him, throughout the whole game. And, I think this trade is going to have ripple effects across the NBA, because now, like I say, when you start looking at Dallas, man, you're going to have to start matching up with these guys. And like I say, for LA, if just from the LA perspective of it, I just, 2 ball dominant guys, man. And like I say, LeBron James is always going to say the right thing out and in the press and all this, and say, hey, I want to move off the ball. I want to be the second option. But, he hasn't ever, he's not showing that. You can say one thing, but you're not showing that. And we know that Anthony Davis will do it, because when LeBron is out or when he's not playing and they run it through Anthony Davis, he's more than willing to take the shots and let the offense, be the center of the offense. So I think, like I say, I think for the Lakers, I think we're not through with this. We got to move LeBron. We got to be able to get something for him. Like I say, put him in a destination that he really wants to be, because he, like I say, again, me and Mr. 411 were talking about this. He did everything he could short of saying it out loud that he wanted Steph Curry in LA, and they were, that was some rumbling about making that move happen, and so now it's easier for him to go out to Golden State, make that move, and like I say, help us in the process by getting, like I say, either some picks or some people.
But what I like about this, guys, and I'm gonna say this from the LA perspective, I like that the Lakers are not wasting any more time. And I'm not trying to say this in a negative way. This is in a positive way. What I mean is, the Lakers are about winning championships. And the way the team is constructed, the way LeBron is still like quote unquote the best player on the team, that's not formula for winning any more championships no time soon. That's telling you that this team is really going to be competitive to a degree, but there's not a threat to win it all. And so you got to make you got to detour and go a different direction. And this can be a win for everybody. AD, he goes to a team where he could possibly win a championship now, and he can lead his team. LeBron, he can move on now. Everything's lined up for him to be able to move on. I think you just said that. It's Golden State. Like that's the only landing spot right now. If you just take all the tea leaves, it's been all about LeBron and Curry trying to get together, because Golden State is in a state of emergency. They can't get any better via the
Golden
draft.
State needs to make a new move ASAP.
Right. They can't get any better by the draft. They don't. Their best players aging, and they owe him a ton of money. Their other veteran player is Draymond Green, who's just a shell of himself, and all he's worth right now is just antagonizing people on the court. That's all he's good at right now.
Yeah.
So there's nothing there. LeBron can come in there and inject some energy, in the atmosphere, and that can kind of help Curry maybe have one more, run at it. And that's really it. This is really about possibly Golden State have given it one more try before they got to rebuild that whole thing. So I think it's all lining up for it to happen this way. I just feel it, man. That's how I feel right now, and to speculate, as far as speculating all this. So, is there anything that you've heard, Nard, on your Nard report, or is there anything that you're hearing as far as what can be next, as far as the fallout from this trade?
No, sir, not at all. But I like to say about how y'all mentioned Golden State needs to make a move. They do need to make a move because Curry is frustrated over there. Draymond is hurt.
Yep.
He's killing the team's chemistry.
Yep.
And there's some names out there like Jimmy Butler. I don't see Butler on the Warriors because I don't see him playing alongside Draymond Green. Curry will be nice, but I just can't see Butler and Draymond play against each other. With each other. Like, it's not
hell no, they ain't got enough money for that. I mean, for the not for that, for the damn fines that'll come along with that, because them jokers will be fighting each other every damn day, man. Hell no.
Exactly.
Hey, Curry already. He know better because he don't want to get punched in the face. But I know there's plenty of times he wanted to slap Draymond for acting up. Man, these past couple seasons. You know what I'm saying?
And Draymond, like the antics that he, the things that he is doing now, man, is, like you can't. I mean, if it's me, if I'm Golden State, and the one thing that they are, the one thing that you can say about Golden State and their organization is, those guys are, they're loyal. They're loyal to their people, but they're realistic as well. And my thing is, man, me personally, I would have cut Draymond, man. I mean, because nobody's going to trade anything for him, because nobody wants, even Dennis Rodman at the end of his career, he may have given you the antics, but he still would go out there and get your ass 15 rebounds and defend, a guy. He may, and he might get a tech here, there, whatever, but like the stuff that Draymond is doing now, it's just like, dude, you're acting like a damn 3-year-old out here. I mean, like and
he's acting like a child.
Yes, and the things that you're doing isn't helping your team at all. And that's another thing. If we want to, probably delve into it in the stuff that may come out later, you got to understand. Like Clay is probably like, man, I don't, like I'm just tired of this too. Like just tired of dealing with Draymond.
That's probably why Clay left.
Yeah, and now the one thing about Draymond that he's had these podcasts, he has this stuff with LeBron. He respects LeBron, and LeBron will be able to come in. I think he can do some stuff, and LeBron will be able to come in there and calm him down and get him reeled back in to where he'll play some decent basketball. I think that will help. I think that'll help Golden State a lot because Draymond is he's a crafty veteran. He can still do some of the things, like you say, he's a shell of himself. He can do some of the things that he could do, but like right now, I think he costs his team more than he's worth to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I say, you bring LeBron in, and I think that calms some of that down. But go ahead, yes, sir.
Yeah, it'll calm it down a little bit because, at least initially, because of the respect level, and LeBron basically, to me, LeBron basically is replacing Draymond Green. You know what I'm saying? As a facilitating forward, he would replace Draymond, and Draymond would just be the undersized center on the team. So I guess you can kind of do that for a little while, but again, I have my reservations on this as well because how many players? I would be curious. This would be a great test to see how Curry's game works with playing with LeBron if LeBron is dominating the basketball. I would love to see that. So sign me up for it. I want to see this go down.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Nard. You got something throw in there, bro? My bad.
No, sir. I don't.
Okay. I just want to, like you say, if we're looking at the, like you say, the other part of this, the third part of this AD Luka is, like I say, it's the LeBron factor. With LeBron going there, he will definitely have to go in as like the second wheel. This is this is golden. That's his town. That's his team. He'll be walking in there with the full expectation of being the second wheel. Now, will he be able to play? I think like you was just saying, it'll be a better fit with him because, like you said, what he can do now is be a facilitator. He doesn't necessarily have to get down. He's not going to have to defend anybody. He won't have to try to get down and rebound, which is not another one of his strong suits, in my opinion. I think a guy that's 6'8", 275, 280 can jump out of the gym should average a double-double. He should be 9-10 rebounds, and maybe not at the end of his career, but when he was doing his thing, he should have been a double-double machine without question. Like he should have been a double-double machine without question, and almost a triple-double machine if you want to be frank about it. But I think like you say, I think Golden State is the best fit for him, man. You put him over there, like you say, it moves Draymond. Even Draymond may be coming off the bench, or like you say, somewhere else. You can move him to the 4. And I think do they still have Looney over there? If I'm not mistaken, is he still there? So you put LeBron in there and let him do what he's really always done, is be a point guard from the small forward position. And I think it'll be smooth for him. I think he'll be, he'll play better there. But again, this is the Laker locker room, and I think for us, we need to be able to get something for him. And like I say, you're not going to be able. That's just not going to work. The same way with the 4-1 when I was looking at it, you just like Luka and LeBron, like they just, that's like having a Coke and a Pepsi, man. Like you're gonna have to choose one. You want one or the other. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't, they just not, you're not just gonna drink both of them. You either want one or the other. They just not gonna go well together.
Yeah, I think I think it's something else about to go down. So you know, I can't wait. The trade deadline is Thursday at 3 p.m.
Correct.
if I'm not mistaken. So
Yes, this
eye on
Thursday.
that, and
Thursday.
we'll see.
You said
We'll,
Thursday.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think
So
it's
this
Thursday at 3 p.m.
Yeah, I'll be
So
and like
watching the trade deadline special.
yeah, and so Nard, like you said, man, I know you're the inside guy, and you like you say you keep your feelers out from all this, and like you said, this was just something. And like I said, when I woke up this morning, I went to bed last night kind of early, and when I woke up this morning, like that was the first thing I saw, and like this is the internet, so I'm like, man, this has got to be a lie. So I flip, I go to the thing and I pull up ESPN, and like that's the blockbuster trade Luka for what you call it. And whether people like him or not, I listen to Brian Windhorst, and he's a pretty knowledgeable kind of guy, man. Like I said,
Oh yeah.
whether you like him or not, you kind of got to respect him for what he knows. And one good point that he kind of made was that this was, a 3-team trade with the Lakers kind of, the Jazz kind of grabbing somebody probably to make some cap space or whatever. But like nobody, like there was never a shopping for Luka. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody shopped him. You're getting a Lakers 2029 first round pick. Damn, that's 4 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like you're
Really?
looking at it, you're looking to draft a kid at best that's a freaking
8th grade.
sophomore. That's a sophomore in high school. You know what I'm saying? And so like, like that's, if it's a one and done, like that's who you're looking at getting, you know what I'm saying? So it's not, like that's who you're like that's who you're trading for, like that's the guy, it's somebody either they're a freaking sophomore in high school or they're a freshman in college, like that's who you're. And so what do you think about that? Like you say, as as kind of an inside guy, the fact that Dallas kind of didn't shop him and say, hey, what can we get for Luka? Or do you think that was I mean, I guess it is planned out, but to what extent, like in something like that, how much planning would probably have to go into something like that?
Well, to me, first of all, I didn't expect Luka to be traded from the Mavs because that was their franchise player. He took the team to the finals last year, almost won the championship. His other players let him down, and then you traded him away. Like, I don't know. Like, biggest trade in NBA history.
Yeah, I mean, and like you say, being frank about it, and I don't want to sound, people will take things the way they take it, but like, let's look at Mark Cuban. He likes certain players. You know what I'm saying? I think he has an affinity for certain guys. He went and got when he went and got Dirk, and Dirk was a great player, one of the best of all time. You know what I'm saying? But he, the same way he made the trade and made the pull to go get Luka out of Atlanta to Dallas to kind of get that same, we got that European guy that's the main, like the face of my team. I think, I think that's just part of his,
But here's the beauty here.
there's nothing wrong with it. I think he just,
But Mark Cuban is gone now, so like I was shocked that Dallas even dealt with the Lakers because Mark Cuban is a guy who never liked the Lakers. You know what I mean?
So he's not making calls anymore. Cuban's not making calls anymore.
No.
Okay. So, well, maybe that's why it happened then, because like I say, I would have sworn, and like I say, me and you've had, conversations, and we, like I say, when you talk to people and be frank and not cross hairs for what it is, he wanted, I think, a certain type of player in Dallas to do, I think that, and it worked, hey, and again, Luka, first team all NBA the last 5 years. Like, how do you get rid of a 25-year-old 6'6" guard who, like you said, that
can post up too,
and took his, took a bunch of Kyrie and in the Mod Squad to the NBA Finals, beat a Well, the Timberwolves gave Denver more of the problem, but
Yeah.
still, they got there. They beat that team and they got to the NBA Finals. They didn't really they didn't look bad against that Boston. You know what I'm saying? They it's just like one of the situations where it used to be like it's your first time there. You kind of get caught up in not knowing what to do. And Boston had been in the finals before, so like it's just the old process of having to work your way up the ladder, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, and you got a guy that's right there on the cusp of it. You make that trade for or you sign Klay Thompson, and you got the guys that you had there. I mean, Dallas should. I mean, like I say, before you even do anything like that, you look like you're still a solid team. That like you say, I that just surprised me, and it's just one of those things, like you say, where why did they only deal with the Lakers? That was my only question. Like, okay, because you strictly just dealt with the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
you,
well, and again, Mark Cuban, he sold the majority of his team, of the team. So he's a minority owner, but he doesn't involve himself in the operations anymore. I just want to make sure I cleared that up with everybody. But
no,
yeah,
you said that, but
oh,
I
okay.
mean, like, yeah, but like, I mean, if you're somebody like where you could, I mean, and Anthony Davis is no slouch. He's a great player, but like, you mean to tell me that you couldn't go and there's somebody else that may have offered you something more? As far as
Oh
like
yeah,
draft picks, like being able to
yeah.
recoup draft picks, get
But
you might not necessarily have had a
what
Anthony Davis type player on your team,
that
but
that makes me wonder. That
somebody
makes me wonder.
comparable. What's that? And then
That ma-
okay, what you got, man? What you got?
no, I'm saying that makes me wonder then what was really going on with Luca, because Luca has less mileage than AD. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the trade for both teams, but even with Dallas, because you get a better defender to go along with the offense in AD. But Luca was a franchise, like you said earlier tonight, he's all NBA like 4 years or 5 years or whatever. Like
First team,
All
first
star
team
first
team.
all
team, all
NBA.
first team, all
Right,
NBA. That's you
right,
one of the best five players in the game.
right. So why would you give him up so quote unquote easily, in my opinion,
Yes,
I
because like
thought you was building
I'm
a team around him.
yeah. I mean, I might try to get Wimby or something if I'm gonna do that, or you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna try to get
Giannis. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm trying to go for some. I'm trying to go get Giannis. I'm trying to go get Jason Tatum. I'm trying to go get
Because
Jokic.
AD been around. Because AD
You
been
know,
around since what 2012, maybe 2013, somewhere in there.
yeah.
So
So I
he's
mean,
been
like you
around
say,
for a minute. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to go get. I mean, and again, I like Anthony Davis. He's a great player, but he's
He's
you
a little
know
injury prone.
yes, and for what you're trading for him to, like you say, now Anthony Davis and like if this trade happened like now in 2019. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, Anthony Davis, where he's 6, 7 years in the league and you're doing that. Hey, I can get that. But like you said, man, this, Anthony Davis only has a few years left of being, um, you know, where he is now. He's a formidable player. He's a great defender. Um, these last couple of years, he's actually done a lot better as far as like, controlling his injuries. He hasn't been so injury prone over these last few years. Now, maybe that was coming from like being around LeBron. Maybe that was one of the effects that LeBron had on him. Like, hey man, you need to take care of your body. That's one thing that we can sit back and say LeBron has never really had that super bad injury where it took him out for an extended period of time. But we also know how much he spends on his body and keeping himself, basketball ready, even at 40, 41, you know what I'm saying? But it's got to be a lot of stuff that'll end up coming out, especially on Luka's side. Because like I say, somebody somewhere again, I don't see how you look at Luka Dončić at 25 years old, who's one of the best players and probably the best player at his position. You make a move for a again, Anthony Davis, great guy, great, great player, but not at this point in his career.
Nah.
Yeah. So I guess, man, and I guess we kind of just talk about as much as we can based on what we know now, but we keep our eye open on what's to come from this. Man, there's got to be more that's going to break. And I'll be taking a look at the NARD report to see what else is going to be breaking, because I got a feeling. I think you mentioned it before, Brandon, but maybe they got an issue with Luka and his effort. As far as his off the court effort. Maybe there's some stuff there, and maybe some of these injuries are coming up for those off the court reasons too. But this is just baffling, man. I just didn't see this one coming at all. But it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. And hey, Anthony Davis, right? He's 31 years old. What I mean, again, what are we gonna give him? Another? We got at least 10 years of Luka being at the top of his game.
Right.
We're not gonna, Anthony Davis is gonna give you what, another 4 or 5, maybe?
Yeah, probably good 5. And then maybe in Dallas, hey, this might be the situation where he will have that 5 to 6 year window here. And hey, he has that chance. I'm gonna be watching all these guys closely. I'm gonna be watching AD to see how his production is. I'm gonna be watching to see how LeBron and Luka mesh once they do get on the court together.
I think they'll get along with each other.
Yeah, I think so too. But I'm just wondering how is it going to play out on the floor, because they both do like the same thing. It's like he's just a European version of LeBron with that's to me that's kind of like what it is, with less athleticism, obviously, but similar type of style play. I'm just wondering how that's going to all play out. I'm fascinated. All right, anything else, man, before we chill out for the rest of the evening?
No, I mean, like I said, man, like I said, for all of us that are, NBA fans and watchers of the game, that's just like I say, this is, and you said this, like, man, this is probably going to go down as one of the biggest trades in NBA history, because like I say, you go and take, again, one of the top 5 best players in the league, and you trade him probably for, Anthony Davis is still top 10. In my book, he's still top 10 player.
I would argue top 6, top 5.
He's still there.
When he's healthy,
he's still
absolutely.
there. Yeah, when he's still there. Yeah, and he, let's be honest. If you want to go, he's probably still right there at his position. The only person that I might. Well, that's in the in the Western Conference. Yeah, he's probably number 1 at his position, the 4.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of another one. I mean, Dončić is. I mean, not Dončić. Joker is a center.
Is the 5, and then Giannis is in the East at the 4.
Right.
So
and to be honest with you, Anthony Davis offensively is light years ahead of Giannis offensively.
Oh yeah.
And then the thing about it too, man, these guys are still on the same side of the pond. It'd be different if you're chasing one guy from the Eastern Conference to the Western Conference,
right? And
you won't see him. You're trading a guy that's right there that you're still gonna have to see a couple of times a year.
Yeah, that's crazy too. Wow. Well, it's definitely gonna help with the ratings. So I think everybody's gonna be tuned in when Dallas and LA play for sure.
And they play each other February 25th.
Oh wow, okay. Just enough time that everybody get their roster sorted out and get
through with the Super Bowl out of the way. We'll get the Super Bowl clip out of the way, and it'll be about that'll be something. This will be the kind of the time when the NBA starts to take center stage, and hey, that's right
after the All-Star game too.
Because
so we had that All-Star game, then the All-Star break, and come back from that couple of days off, because there's going to be NBA has switched it to where the guys get like 4 days off after the All-Star game, whatever, and come right back, and then we're going to be looking forward to this matchup, man, on the 25th.
Hey man, and I want to throw this out here real quick. I know, like you said, we're trying to get out of here. But it says according to I guess one of these writers, they said that the Mavs actually made an attempt to trade Doncic for Giannis, for
What?
Giannis, but the Bucks were like, nah, at all. So I mean, so that means, man, and like I say, this is something
Wow.
that I'm just looking at right now that hit about 15, 20 minutes ago. And again, I
Okay.
don't, we just don't know if, how everything, how everything is everything. But if Dallas was the one making that means Dallas had the issue with Luka. So
Yeah, that's what I want to. I want to find out more of what's going on in Dallas. What is going on there? Because for them to want to move their best player, right? One of the best, arguably one of
And
their
Mavs fans are
all-time
pissed
best
off.
players.
a generational guy.
What is going on there for them to do that?
Yeah. I mean, he's a
When you talk
generational guy.
about because when you talk about all-time Mavericks, he's got to be in that conversation. So,
He has to
Already.
and he's young. So why would you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why would you do it? It's got to be something going on.
They had no sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate that info there, Brundage, on that. And like I said, we'll keep our ear to the ground, man, and then see what's going on and chop it up
Yeah.
again. Nard Report, y'all. The Nard Report, all social media platforms. I'm certain he's gonna have something Tuesday. Your show's on Tuesday, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What time on Tuesdays and on YouTube?
7:00.
All right,
7
7
o'clock on
o'clock.
Tuesday. All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll plug in and listen to you, man. Like I say, you always you always one thing about, over here on with Mr. 411, he brings in a lot of knowledgeable guys, man. And that's one good thing about
Including yourself, sir.
having but man, like you say, just having guys that are knowledgeable about the game and understand like this part of it, and not getting, the media, the mainstream media has its thing, and it's gonna be controlled by the masses and the money. But when you start getting down the grassroots kind of guys, and like you say, the guys that are knowledgeable people, but hey, we're just putting out here real information, and the things that we see and the things that we hear and the things that we understand, it's always great, man. And like I said, I'm definitely gonna make sure I hit your report up and listen to you, man.
All right.
All right, for sure.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, for Nard and Brundage, I'm 411. We'll catch y'all later. Have a good evening.
Yes, sir. Peace, y'all.
Peace.